Feel the Fog, John Carpenter's movie. Uh, what are they mad about? Someone took their gold?
There's a seaside town, and they're coming up on their centennial celebration. This is 100 years. For those of you that don't know what centennial means, uh, I was thinking it was sesquicentennial, but that's 50 years. But no, it's centennial because I forget words too. I'm an old man. Um, well, anyway, we're introduced to a shitload of characters. We're introduced to this priest. We're introduced to a DJ lady, and she's I guess, a single mom, and she's flirting with a weather guy, over the phone in between songs, or was it on a CB? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. We're introduced to this other prick that picks up a prostitute on the road and takes her back and fucks her. And wait a minute, we're introduced to some guys on a boat, and a fog rolls in.
Shout out to George the Buck Flower.
Eerie fog rolls in. And in that fog, there's a boat. And on that boat, there's zombie ghosts. Some zombie pirate ghosts, maybe. And they
What are they, Joe? Are they zombies or are they ghosts?
Well, anyway, these ghosts, they're there for revenge. For something that happened 100 years ago. Yeah, they fucking took their time. The guys that fucked them over, that fucked these ghosts over, they lived a good life, They ripped off their gold and everything. They lived high on the hog, died probably really happy and everything. So, hey, let's go kill their ancestors that have nothing to do with any of this. That all shows them. Fucking dumbass ghosts. Yeah, that's what the ghosts are back for. And we're told very early on, because you got this old man on the beach that has this bunch of kids that he's molesting. Tell the story, kind of to ease them in. That's part of the grooming process he uses. He says that these ghosts, that on the anniversary, that they have reign of the town from 12 midnight to 1 o'clock. So they got 1 hour to do their shit, right? He expressly said that. They show a fucking clock, things start happening when
Doesn't this shit happen 2 nights in a row though?
It happens 2 nights in a row. Some shit happens during the day. Some shit happens, it's
a lot of glass breaks. For some reason, these ghosts are little punk ass teenagers and just love to break glass.
Or move chairs, they love to move chairs.
Well, that's just classic ghost antics.
Like if you're about to sit down, they're gonna pull it.
Toasty.
Yeah, why establish that rule if you're just gonna fucking break it, if it doesn't fit within the confines of the movie that you're making? Yeah, I don't know. Here's a movie where, I know everybody's always sucking this guy's dick. What the fuck's his name? You know what I'm talking about, Tom, the guy that you love, the Thrill Me guy.
Oh, Jamie Lee Jerklin.
Yeah, him.
Tom Atkins, the man who should definitely have a mustache always so he doesn't look like a Muppet.
Yeah. Yeah, he sucks in this. Jamie Lee Jerklin, I don't even know why she was in this. They probably just threw her a bone.
She was in Halloween, and they just worked with each other, and I'm sure they enjoyed working with each other.
So a lot of the characters are named after people that worked on Halloween or were in Halloween. I think Tom Atkins, his name is maybe Nick Castle in the movie.
That's right, Joe. That's something that fucking independent filmmakers do on their first movie. Not this, professionally made whatever. Yeah, I like Tom Atkins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And here he was all right.
Yeah.
Everybody in here was just kind of all right. Now, I'll say this. What's his nuts from Creepshow? Father Malone. I don't know if it's because I watched both movies, but I thought he was all right in this.
He is.
Nothing great, but he played a good sweaty drunk.
Yeah, but he's a good actor. He's gonna give it his all in anything he does, and he's like probably the only one that you're really interested in. You know, when he comes on, when they focus on his story, and like I was saying, they introduce so many people. I think that's part of the reason you don't give a shit about anybody because it's so spread out, like all their storylines. And
And again, shout out to old Buck Flower. He played an excellent drunk too.
he did. Um, the movie looks fantastic. You know, props to the cinematographer. This shit looks great.
Think it was Dean Cundy.
Could be Tom. Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched a 4K of it. I watched it on, what is it, Amazon,
Mhm.
and, it looked really good. It for the most part, the fog looked really cool. It was lit really well. Other times you can just tell they were kinda blowing a fog machine right off a camera or whatever, but
Yeah, say that, but if you're watching just the MGM special edition, it doesn't look all that bad, Tom.
This didn't look bad. It was just, the way they had the fog rolling in, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
just kinda you could tell, "Oh, they just have the fog machine right there," but, I mean, it looked good. That's the best thing about this movie is, how it looks and kinda the feel of it because of how it looks.
yeah. It I don't know, it's not a bad movie, but it's not something to I don't know, spend 15 minutes talking about for sure. Yeah, this is going in the for sale box. I don't ever need to watch it again. I could care less about it.
Yeah, I bought it, I think I had that. Something's telling me I had a blue cover. Maybe that was full screen or something because 'cause I'm dumb.
Well, see, the thing with this special edition, Tom, check this out. Okay. So you've got a full screen on one side, and alakazam, you turn it over, and it's a wide screen, Tom.
Mm. So, yeah, I watched it that, didn't care for it, sold it, and then however many years later, the Scream Factory release popped up at Walmart for, like, 10 bucks or something. I was like, "Yeah, it's been a minute. 10 bucks, I'll rewatch it, see." I didn't hold it up and say, "Hey, Joe," so sold that fucking one too, and here I am again watching it for the 3rd time saying, "Oh, it looks so nice and was shot so beautifully." Yeah, I mean, everything is okay. It's kinda so are they ghosts? Are they zombies? How are they able to hold things and, make those things interact with, actual living things? But not really supposed to think about that kinda stuff. Think about it a little more in the remake, but you're not really supposed to.
Yeah.
I would call this very okay in middle of the road. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5, and it's a movie. You know what else is a movie, Joe?
What's that, Tom?
The Fog. Have you heard of it?
I have. Uh, I've heard very bad things about this for years, Tom, since maybe 2005. I've heard it's the worst remake ever made. Uh it is just complete garbage. I never watched it, and never really had a reason to, but now I did, Tom. Now I had a mission to complete to compare and contrast it with the original.
Uh, it's not the same story. This time, instead of coming back for, like, 6 souls, we gotta kill 6 people. That was the gimmick in the original one. This one, it's like, "Oh, we're actually coming to kill direct descendants because it's the sins of the father, literally, you see." Okay. Um, like the original, this one is very of its time.
Very, very of its time. It starts out with a I what the fuck's the name of that band? It's either I don't know. There was a lot of bands that were very of its time. You know, I don't know.
But, movies of its time and remakes of its time, they thought they had to cast a CW star in the lead.
It's either Good Charlotte or Fallout Boy that this starts out with. So that gives, and they're pretty much the same band. So that gives you an indication of where we're at, what kind of movie they're making. Like Tom just said, a CW movie.
Yeah, we got, Selma Blair in the, Adrienne Barbeau role. We got, Superman in the Tom Atkins role, which is weird because we follow that character, the Superman character, in this movie a lot more than we did in
Hmm.
the original. Yeah, in this one, they're both about leopard colonies, which is weird because none of them had fucking cat ears or tails, but they keep calling them leopards. But in this one, they have, like, this really nice boat, which I don't know how they steer it having paws and all. Don't you laugh at that. But, yeah, so the townsmen that they weren't townsmen because they didn't even have a fucking town yet,
Yeah, the
they
town
said
was being established, but it was failing financially. They didn't have the money to like build shit.
so they gave all the leopards their money and their nicest boat and said, "Hey, get out of here and form your own colony." And they said, "Oh, yeah, I guess we'll do that for the good of the people and try to eradicate this terrible disease." And there's, "Oh, that's great of you. Here's all our money and shit." So they sail off into the night, and then these guys say, "We're gonna go get our money back and burn down that sweet boat." So they do, and in the process, they kill all these leopards, and, some of the treasure, a hairbrush and a pocket watch, falls into the water and, gets covered in barnacles, and
So, okay, so Selma Blair's kid, is he supposed to be an autism or what?
I mean, he looked like maybe.
Because he sees an old ratty ass brush on the fucking beach and picks it up like he just found fucking, a polished diamond or some shit. Oh, look at this fucking brush I found on the beach. Okay.
Yeah, and then she takes it and cleans it like it's something awesome too. I mean, maybe it was made out of silver or something,
Hmm.
but yeah, it had this fucking stamp on it, which I forgot what the fuck that was even about. But yeah,
Yeah, I did too.
uh, they show it a bunch of times. This movie feels like chunks of stories is just missing from it. Like, you're just supposed to know, okay, they're an ancestor, they're an ancestor, they're an ancestor. You don't need to know anything about them or just know that they're fucking ancestors and these fucking butthole-mouthed fucking stereotypical ghosts of the time are gonna come and go, "Ooh," and it's terrific. I don't know, man, what are the difference? I mean, the ending's different, the whole
Yeah, they
thing where
say at the beginning, I'd say the first 30 minutes are very close to the other movie. It's just updated, because they have a lot of the same shit going on pretty much scene for scene and even some dialogue. It's just like, oh, this is modern day shit. Um, but then yeah, it deviates because they spend more time trying to explain why these ghosts are here, and this time they're really ghosts. You know, they're not really zombies. Although they did have that stupid scene in the hospital, also taking place during the day. You know, not during that. Well, we don't have that rule in this one.
But one of them gets hit by a fucking car and, like, muck and shit splatters on the wind so how? Wouldn't it just, like, pass?
I don't know. And the thing with the book, when she finds the book, and the other one, you know, Hal Holbrook found it in the wall and shit, you know, and found that fucking cross or whatever. In this one, she's walking around, you know, watching the footage of the funny black guy, you know, because we got a funny black guy in this, because that's, you know, you got to have that in your movie in the early 2000s. And then she falls through the fucking floor, right? And is drowning, but then finds the book.
Yeah, there was, like, a plank of water and their fishery, I don't know, maybe that was, like, where they store their fish before they brutally murder them. I
Yeah,
don't know.
instead of falling apart like things do after they've spent like 100 years underwater, you know, she can just read the book.
The ink's still there, hasn't ran at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we get flashbacks to the dastardly deed, you know, where they fuck over the uh,
leopards.
the leopards and kill them and everything. But that is like intermittent, you know. Just show it all at once because we don't give a shit anyway. You know, just get it over with. Let us know. Um, a big difference is Selma Blair, who I like. You know, I think she's a pretty sexy woman, but I don't for a second believe her as a DJ. You know, her voice sucks for that kind of thing. Where Adrienne Barbeau, she's got the voice and the face for being a DJ. You know, so there was that.
I'd think like, I mean, it can't happen because we don't have a time machine or anything, but the best Fog movie would be, like, if you had Adrienne Barbeau from that movie at that age or whatever, and then you had Selma Blair from this movie at that age or whatever, and one of them was stuck in a dryer, and the other one had to get them out. You give me an hour and a half of that, might have got 5 stars
I gotta watch that.
a few times,
Hmm.
but
Uh,
no, we got this instead.
at the end of this, they do this weird shit to where the girl, the main girl, she is the reincarnation of the wife of the guy who led the leprechaun colony, and she
And did that
disappeared
make any sense?
with him into the ether. It doesn't, Tom. It doesn't.
Like, "Oh, she disappeared." Was that supposed to mean something? Like she's a ghost? I No, she just went off to New York and then came back, and her mom told her to get fucked, and what does this all mean? She was like an actual person. Did they just transform them into a ghost? "Okay, this is my reparations. I'm gonna take this home nobody really cared about because the his her boyfriend was banging fucking what's her nuts, Hellboy, little Hellboy girl, and, yeah, she was just an unwanted. So this guy killed her and pretty much made her her sex slave unwillingly, his undead sex slave into the fucking nether realm.
Yeah, this I I still say, you know, it doesn't it's not good. It's not fucking good, but it's definitely not the worst that I've seen. And you know, when people this spew that hate, is it their own, or if you know so many people said it that they're conditioned to say the same thing? You know, I don't fucking know.
It's weird. I can't see somebody getting mad. "Oh, I love the original Fog. How could" I mean, everybody's different, so it probably did happen, but, this is just a very of its time, not good PG-13 horror movie. Rob Zombie's Halloween's a lot worse and a lot more insufferable than this movie for sure. Um, I mean, I wanna give Street Trash some credit because it did have all those practical effects and everything, but I wasn't watching this movie saying, "Fuck you." It was, kinda what I expected. No, honestly, I expected it to be a lot worse.
Yeah, so did I. So did I. I mean, I did tune out, pretty quickly. Like after that first 30 minutes, when it goes into its own thing, I kind of like, all right, I guess I'll just start cleaning up around here and look up every once in a while. But after that, I went to the old bookshelf because I remembered. Oh, wait a minute, I have the Fog. Parental advisory.
That's how you know it's cool.
So this was a tie-in that Dark Horse Comics did, written by Scott Alley, and with art by Todd Herman. And let's see some of the art here.
Is
Well,
the cover Mike Mignola?
Mike Mignola did the cover, so
Okay.
here's a page they cheated on just by doing these
Silhouettes.
yeah, silhouette. That's like, fuck, we need to hurry up and finish that page. Um, let's see. There's some people beating the fuck out of each other. So this is about the lepers, okay? And this is like the spread of leprosy. And this guy was a rich dude at one time and had a bunch of Chinese working for him, some mines. But the Chinese brought with them a curse, Tom. And the only way to get rid of a curse is to pass it on. And they passed it on to these, I don't know, plantation owners, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's a mine. It's not a plantation. But, and yeah, I guess they got leprosy and they were cursed to, be ghosts for 100 years before they could do anything. And it doesn't really tie in well to the movie. It's strange. It's not bad, but it's not good enough to keep it. It'll be right beside this, so yeah, I don't know. Fog is just, it's not all that good all around. Any incarnation.
Yeah, like I said, the original looks good. The fog with some of that lighting looks really cool. Some of the shots of Mantonio Bay where it's just nothingness in the darkness. It looks cool, but yeah, there's a whole lot of who gives a fuck, really.
Not me. Tom, not me.
Thanks for checking out the show. We hope you dug it, baby. If so, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and let us know down below. Support Tom and Joe by heading over to dwnproductions.net and fastcustomshirts.com. Until next time.